If you doubt that you can change, just look at old photos of you. We have unlimited potential as far as how much we can change or how drastic of a change that we can grow through. And if you doubt that you can change, look at old photos of you. Just go back and look at your transformation over the years. This came to me today. I was thinking about the different versions of self that I've been, and I think that it came through for me because I was packing for the next season of going to Norway, and I was reflecting upon the person that I was when I came here and how drastic of a shift in transformation as far as mindset, as far as looks, as far as pretty much any and every area of my life, even relationships, and the way that I think about relationships, the way that I think about relationship to myself, to other people. And I just see, yeah, thank you. You're one of the gifts that really, truly came to me, and you're on my mind now. And my mind just, yeah, goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. And you're truly one of those lights that I want to speak to as well. Because again, if you doubt that you can change, if you doubt that the situation you're in, that you can change it, if you doubt that the relationship you're in, that can change, look at old photos of you, how you have changed. Because that shows that it's been beyond you and your power necessarily that's changed you. It's a power greater than you that's brought you to this moment, and that brought you into the moments that you had in the past, right? And so when you realize this, it kind of shakes things up. You realize that it's not just you that is going to change the next steps in your life. You realize it's not just you and your will that's going to change. If you rely upon a power greater than yourself, you can lean on it and it kind of tap into that strength and that power, and that can really charge you up to that change that is coming for you. So if you doubt that you can change right now, or that the circumstance you're in can change, look at how you've already changed, because our memory is so fallible. Our memory is so fallible. We tend to forget how we have changed at all. And so we rely on our memory when our memory is really fallible. This is something that I learned in psychology anyways, and it doesn't take a neuroscientist to understand that we actually forget pretty easily, and we take the present moment as is, as a truth, when in fact we're actually blinded by ourselves very often. Our heart can be filtered with lots of emotions, and we can make drastic decisions in a matter of seconds after years of having cultivated a version of ourselves, after years of growing into someone, right? That we might be proud of. And then suddenly we make drastic decisions that really alters it. And anyhow, if you've changed it up until this point, there's nothing standing in the way for you changing moving forward either. And it really takes a discernment to begin to discern what is your desire for how you'd like to change and how God would like you to change. You know, it is a sense of discernment, and it shouldn't be made necessarily in an emotional moment. It has to be as still as possible for as long as possible. That's when you know, when it's a still, peaceful, long term, over several weeks and months feeling, then it's more the truth, but also in accordance to the word. So there's several things to take into consideration when we're changing or when we're wanting to change. Because sometimes I've been thinking, like, sometimes we have a thought in our mind of how we would like to change, how we see ourselves changing. But really, how we ought to change is to grow in compassion. What we're here for is to grow in love, grow in forgiveness, grow in extending our heart beyond what we can comprehend, that we can even like that can even be possible for us. These are changes that are making us better human beings. It's not the Instagrammable fanciness of everything. It's not the desires of the flesh, of the body. It's if you really would like to change in spirit. Like, strive to change in spirit, and just let that sink in for a moment. Strive to change in the spirit beyond anything else, because the spirit will last. The spirit will persevere. The spirit will continue onwards. And the spirit is so much more resilient than what we think. The spirit can handle so much more. Do you want to say hi, light beam? Shine your light. Hello. Hello. Oh, yes. So wherever you find yourself, whatever you are growing through, however much you doubt that you can change, however much you think that you can't, just look at how much you have. I was saying this earlier to my partner too. When we're kids, that we're doing things like we get a banana when we're a baby or a kid, and we put it all over our face. But we don't do that now, right? We wouldn't do that now because we have a mature adult way of doing things, and we don't do that anymore. So, but we take that for granted that we don't do that anymore. So right now, you're currently probably doing things that you, in the future, you'll look back and be like, what did I do there? Like, what was that? And I have thought that about myself several times, having come to these realizations that I've come to over the past few months. Just like, what was that? What came upon me in that moment when I made that decision, or when I changed in that way? It was not just me. It could not just have been me. It was so much more. So yeah, those are the thoughts that are running through my mind right now. But if you doubt that you can change, look at old photos of you. Yeah, because it's really possible. Nothing is impossible with Christ. Nothing is impossible at all. And dare to ask, dare to lean in, dare to stay with the discomfort of the growth. Dare to let him guide you. Dare to pray. Dare to ask for strength, and do not lean on your own understanding. And pray for your enemy. Pray for, that's a big one. Pray for your enemy, because that's the most counterintuitive thing we do as human beings. But it's actually what extends our heart, and what grows our heart. And it is something that I promise you can shift timelines, and it can empower those that you pray for beyond time and space. You might not see it yourself in your own, with your own eyes, but I have this knowingness that this is possible. And instead of just praying for ourselves, or just, going into this, I need to change myself, it's all me. Lean into and extend your heart and pray for the change of others too, because we have that power to extend these prayers to beyond us, to those that we see as enemies or see as against us or see as unchangeable or as permanent. If you've seen them do something else than what they're currently doing, that in and of itself shows that what they're currently doing is not permanent. What they're currently doing is just a doing. That's all that it is. It does not say anything about whether they can change or not. Just the same way that what you did in the past doesn't say anything about whether you can change now or not. We all, as long as we have the Holy Spirit of breath and life force energy, we can change. And where did this faith go in other people, even in relationships, let's say? Where did the faith go in extending a sense of faith in another, even when they're showcasing all the things that you are not agreeing with or don't want or think is bad or think like goes against what you want, basically, or think is good? Because in that doing, when they're doing that, the greatest thing you can do is to love them. The greatest thing you can do that can change them is to love them even more. The greatest thing you can do is to stay. That changes not only them, but it changes you. And this is something that I did not do at one point in my life and that I will regret for the rest of my life. And it is one of the things that has ignited this fire that you can see in me now. Because I chose to run away. I chose to see the worst in that person. I chose to see that that person could not change. I chose to see what they were doing as the end all be all. And so I did what I'm not proud of. And I got to live for the rest of my life knowing that. But it gives me a fire to speak about it. And maybe it was for this reason. To know that anyone can change. I know it for a fact. And it really is just about how much you will grow through that process of extending your grace, even when you think it's impossible. And really knowing that the greatest grace you can give to someone is to have faith that they can change, even when they don't think it themselves. Like, that is beautiful. That is so sacred. It's more sacred than anything. So doubt that you can change, look at old photos of you. Doubt that someone else can change, look at old photos of them. Even. Look at old photos of both of you. It's possible. And I know that there are someone right now that needs to hear this. There's someone right now that needs to hear that change is possible, even when you don't think it is. And there is a power greater than you that can change someone from the inside out. If you have patience, which is a trait, it's a choice. Patience is a choice. Is to stay in the discomfort when you can't see the unseen. That's what faith is. You're being tested. You're just being tested. You're coming up against a challenge. You're coming up against a challenge of not seeing a change. You're not seeing change. But the greatest of love is when you can love yourself and love another, even when they don't seem to change, when in fact they are changing. Even thinking about the accident that I had and the wounds and everything, of course, when it happened, it's like, how is this going to heal? How is this going to heal? When is this going to heal? How am I going to regain my strength? How am I going to regain my arm? How are these wounds going to heal? And you live in this like, this is the end all be all. This is the end. This won't change. This is permanent. This will not change. And there you go. You start looking for evidence that it won't change. When in fact you can. And it takes choice, it takes diligence, it takes discipline, it takes surrounding yourself with other people that have this commitment to knowing that change is possible. And when you surround yourself with those types of people, when you read about those types of things, when you dig into the word, when you pray, when you use your words for affirmation, it is possible. It is so possible. Like these wounds right here, like they were bleeding. My arm, I had to wear a cast for 2 months. My leg, I just got to show you, I just got to show you if it's even possible here. You can't even see them. But let me actually show you. There you go. Right? This, at one point, all this was like so apparent. It was showing big time. It was bleeding. It hurt. I had to sit on the toilet with my foot up against the wall because the blood was flushing down to my feet to heal it. And I had to diligently convince my mind and read the word and speak out loud and surround myself with faithful people, godly people, sacred people, people that believe in grace and love, that show it. And lo and behold, with time, with grace, it changed. I can walk. I can use my arm. I can hug people. I'm restored. I'm renewed. And so can you. You can be renewed. You can be restored. Your relationship can be restored. That person can be restored. But the biggest thing is to extend love to yourself and to others when they or you can't think that you can change at all. So that's the message that I wanted to come through now for you. And I'm here for you. I'm here for you in spirit. I'm here for you in flesh, as long as I speak. And I'm sending you so much love. And keep on remembering this, and make sure now to go ahead and look at old photos of you. Look on old photos of a loved one that you think can change. Look at photos of the both of you and know that God is good. God is good. Yeah.